19, verse. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't see the topic, that's what we're sharing. Entrepreneurship, right? Enterprise, basically. Enterprise. But I had to call it doing business in the fourth industrial revolution. And by that I mean doing business in our time, in our dispensation. So Christ himself, all right, gave this instruction. And from the teaching today, you realize that the least we can do is to save the money. However, this is the place I want to stay with. It says, occupy till I come. Can we shout it together? Occupy till I come. The New King James, the New American Standard Bible, and a lot more. I think the Webster Bible says we should more or less do business till he comes. All right? So we're talking about doing business till he comes. And I really want us to quickly look at this. All right? Please, like I said, I'm going to speed it up. So if you're going to take notes, don't worry, just leave it. I just want you to follow up, all right, with me. And I don't think there's a lot to describe with regards to what entrepreneurship is. We already know it's about solving problems. It's about adding value. It's about solving problems. It's about adding value. All right? It's about solving problems, and it's about adding value. We know that already. We are aware also that not everybody will be entrepreneurs, but everybody should be entrepreneurial. I'm going to just quickly say that again. Not everybody should be entrepreneurs, but everybody should be entrepreneurial. And the question will be, what's the difference? Entrepreneurs are founders and starters of businesses, all right, that particularly solve a kind of problem. But an entrepreneurial person can be an entrepreneur and can likewise not be an entrepreneur. All right? So you can have someone who works for another person, another business, who is entrepreneur. Just, put the I-A-L at the back, all right, of the word. You have the entrepreneurial there. So you can have somebody who is entrepreneurial without being the entrepreneur. We call such people intrapreneurs, all right? Please, if you've never had that word before, you can please take note of that. Do a little research on that after now. I-N-T-R-A, all right, P-R-A, just like that, intrapreneur. So, why should everybody be entrepreneurial? That's what Christ meant when he says to occupy till I come. Not everybody will own a business. Not everybody will be a Mark Zuckerberg or a Bill Gates. Not everybody will be. All right? Some people, and I was in that category many years ago in my undergraduate days when I was so naive and said I would never work for anybody. Those were ignorant statements. Those are mundane statements that don't have their bearing in scriptures. I can tell you that for free now. So if you are sitting in this room and say, salary cannot take people home, just like what we heard earlier, it's a lie. Being an entrepreneurial-minded person is a very key one. Very, very, very key one, right? Very, very key one. Here we go, all right? Very, very, very quickly. Now, if you look at this screen right now, you see 18th century, 19th, 20th, and of course where we are now. The entrepreneurs of these various dispensations were different. This was really agrarian. That was an industrial boom. A whole lot happened. Now, let me say this to you. I can see a very, very wide range of people sitting in this room. A lot of young people, a lot of, teenagers and so on. And it's a beautiful thing. I tell you this for certain. I began to sit in this room, this kind of rooms, as early as 7, 8, 9, 10, I was listening to things like this. And so you're in the right place. You're doing the right thing. All right? So I just want to... Okay, that's fine. Thank you. All right. So it's so much so slightly different from the dispensations that have just finished. So which is the third one. So let me go a step further. So if you look at the timelines here, 1765, 1870, 1969. So what we know as ICT, which is the dispensation that we're still in. Many of us in this room know ICT. We know how to use computers. We know how to use our phones to do business. That was what this dispensation gave to us. So there's a kind of problems that we are used to. that I am used to that this gave us. This particular dispensation, most of us were not born here. In fact, many of us were not yet born here. It's just that we came into these timelines. What's the uniqueness of what I'm showing you right now? The importance, I mean. The importance of what I'm showing you is the fact that there are many of us that have been to school, graduated from the university, polytechnics, or whatever colleges we've been to, and we have taken formal education. A little bit of that was talked about earlier when she mentioned apprenticeship and Alaba. As a matter of fact, in the last 6, 7, 8 years of my life, God has blessed me with so many clients from Alaba, Computer Village, and the likes. I can tell you for free. I give you an example. There are about 2, 3 MDs. As I was sitting there, she was speaking. I just could put together 3 different MDs, and I just finished a retreat with one of them. One of the importance of RH Security Doors, one of the biggest security companies in the country, all the security doors that most of the hotel uses, a client of mine imports them. Now, I can tell you this about, this is an Infinix phone. This is an Infinix 50. 45% of this particular phone is imported by one of my clients. And I can tell you, the guy didn't go to university. 3 of them, when they stand together, and they are friends, when they stand together they employ over 500 people, 3 of them, spread across the country. One of them is also the largest distributor of Nigerian breweries products in Nigeria. But when he comes into the room, that's how it works. Hi, Rume, how are you? And in the head office, the aggregate of the top 5 executives there have cumulative experience, work experience of over 100 years. Have MBAs. Kelechi is the head of HR, has an MBA. This guy doesn't have all of that. So I asked myself, who is wiser? The one who went to do apprenticeship and now employs all of us with our certificates? I wish I'd done apprenticeship earlier too. So what are we saying here? I'm saying that the curricula that brought us the kind of knowledge that we all have, certificates that we all have, that we pride in, interestingly, we're wired for these dispensations. So imagine, I give you an example. In 200 level, I used a textbook called Physical Geology, written by David Plumer. David Plumer's textbook was so good, all right? I used a bit of it in Loring before I did direct entry and came again. Now, if I had to go through that Physical Geology textbook again, please listen to this. The guy who wrote that textbook, if he was to be in our time, if he was to be in this dispensation now as a problem solver, he would not write the textbook the way he wrote it. I'll give you a summary. So if this entire whole Jubilee Center was a place to search for oil, we're in the Niger Delta. Just imagine that it will take on the average, let's say about 6 months to comb the whole of Ephron, all right, do all the seismic and all of that. In the dispensation we live now, I don't have to go with my geology friends to go and do all of that. All I need is to have the device. I have an app on my phone or 2 that can literally be connected to a drone and then a base station to the phone. So all I need is a drone in the air, my phone on the field, and is relayed in real time to a base that will be checking from the top down the characteristics of each layer of soil. Every single formation, how old they are, when they were founded, what happened there at what year, all right? And when they hit the reserve of oil, I tell you what, they will know the quantity there and how long it will take to, explore it. If it is good enough, if it's viable quantity enough, in real time. And guess what? That could be done in 48 hours. Yes. So I'm going back. You think about even if you're a medical doctor in this room, by the way. I just had a conversation with a doctor not too long ago before I came in here. And one of the things that is clear is that the jobs of the future, when you rank the top jobs of the future, from where we are coming from this generation to this generation to this generation, doctors were number 1. Lawyers. Think of, if there's anybody who is over 20 here, maybe 25, 30, there's a likelihood that everyone wanted to be doctors growing up, lawyers, engineers, and so on and so forth. Am I making sense? Yes. However, I am telling you yours truly, when you Google jobs of the future now, you'll be shocked to find out that you will not see medicine in the top 10. Doctors are not ranked in the top 10 of serious jobs of the future. Very serious. Now let me shock you. Nurses are even ranked higher than doctors in the jobs of the future. Why is that so? Because we live in a dispensation that the problems that the doctors could solve some years ago. So if you're an entrepreneur doctor in this place, you would need to be thinking differently for this dispensation. You can't be thinking the way problems were solved by doctors in the past, because things have changed, have evolved. Thank you, sir. Things have really evolved and are changing. That's why I said we're talking about doing business in what? The fourth industrial. Come on now. Come on, class. The fourth industrial revolution. Let's say it together. The fourth industrial revolution. So look at this right here. This is the first industrial revolution. It was mechanization. So what that means is that it was led by steam engines. Steam engines. That is where a lot of breakthrough came at that time. Then you go to... Then the Message translation says, I commissioned judges. Psalm 82 verse 6, Message translation. I commissioned you judges, each one of you, deputy of the Most High God. It says, but you've been stripped of your rank and busted. Why? You chose not to take your place. Literally. So I look at this and I'm saying to myself, Omo, this is serious. This is serious business. Let me move past this very quickly. All right, so the fourth industrial revolution, basically, we talk about what it is, driven by AI, everybody in the AI. Manifema talked about the fact that business is one of the fastest way to grow wealth. And she also mentioned the fact that we need a lot of light. We need a lot of knowledge. And absolutely true. Anybody who will leave this room now, because there are some things I'm about to say, especially, I'm still around the why, all right? But I'm going to go into the how in a bit. But anybody leaves this room and say, thank God, if your mom, Rume, the things they've said, I'm going to go and start business, I'm going to resign. Come here the next month and cry and tell us to give you money. We'll not give you, because that's not what we're telling you. We didn't tell you to go and resign. I did not hear her say anything like that. She didn't. So don't go step out of here and quote this. Business is the fastest way, is the easiest way. Like I said that in ignorance while I was in school. I was running an NGO, speaking to young people like this, and we used to say, we'll never work for anybody. And meanwhile, I got out of school, I went to work. So I used to wish I went back to school to undo those kind of ignorant statements. That's why when it was time to go back to start, running Discovery Summit, one of the things we say to every young person is go and get a job. Work for someone. In fact, let me shock you. We always say work for free. Yes. Why? Because we found out that salary is the lowest form of what you get from a job. The real capacity is getting close to observe the system, what is running there. We call that knowledge. We call that experience. Are we together? Yes. So that anyway, so don't go and resign. No. Don't be in a hurry. But the things that we're hearing here for some of us is a reminder. For some of us here, it's a push. But honestly speaking, I'm here to do both. All right? And this is what God has laid on my hand to share. So as I speak about enterprise that is related and applicable to our world today, I know that you've heard some of these buzzwords like AI. All right, so look at this now. We say AI is the new electricity. Yeah. Data is the new oil and gas. Data. Yes. The person that has data has more power than the one that drilled oil and gas. Yes. Why will a company, big company, go and buy into a small company that has data and they don't want to do anything about the company? Yeah, I'll give you an example. A guy created an app for people who have cats somewhere in the world. Just for cat lovers. Cats lovers. That's the kind of world we live in. You can create an app for anything. Guess what? The big boys came for that app. They bought the app. They killed the company. What did they go for? The data. Let me say that again. The what? The data. Data on grannies that own apps, great single ladies. That key for them. And they paid billions for that app. Why did you do that? It dawned on me that no, it was not the business they went for. They went for the data. Data is king. The same way we look at it, say it is the new electricity. Are we together? Come on, are we together? So painfully, if you are schooling anywhere around this city, I can assure you that we are way way behind than most of our peers. I can tell you that for free. I can tell you that for free. I'll give you an example. My daughter finished when she wrote JAM. We've corrected that with our second child. Nobody's in a hurry anymore. But she passed. She did well with all exams. She did well. And she has but the government put a peg somewhere. 16 before you get into school. So instead of pushing her to go to school, to go and, I said, no way. The speed is enough. Let's calm you down. You have a game. Now, signed her up, Udemy, bought the course. All right? Python for machine learning and for data analytics. And honestly, and she started. I said, see, years from now, you will thank your God that you don't rush for that medicine. Even if you go and do that medicine, I don't care. You do it, you do the JAM next year, you pass it, but sit down. Now, guess what? I went to her cousin's house in Lagos, and I was having conversations with their father, who is a doctor. It took us 5 years to fight that every of his child must also study medicine. Until I told him this same data I'm telling you now. That the jobs of the future, doctors are not as important. He said, show me. So I showed him. 5 years we were arguing every day until sometime last month when he finally called his children. I was spending the night in the house. He called his kids into the living room. We sat down. They have a smartphone. I said, their youngest, Presley, is about 7. I said, oh yeah, Presley, go on YouTube. All right, bring Python for beginners. As soon as they put the Python and start playing, his elder sisters, they're twin girls, their faces just lit up with excitement. Boom! He said, yes, that's it. Before the next thing, apparently they were already doing it in school. And their father was paying, but he had no idea what he was paying for. So he sat down there, was looking at kids with excitement. He said, you mean people understand this? I said, yes. I said, Shay, you see what I'm telling you? Then one of them finally, that's what we've been telling you, that not everything revolves around medicine. When he said that, I put his head down like this. What am I saying? I said there's a likelihood that if you're in this city, you are schooling in this city, we're already shortchanged because we don't have the programs, we don't have the facilitators that are even programming us for relevance to solve problems in this dispensation. So I can tell you, if you are 30 in this room and you've never done anything around programming, I can tell you, you are probably about 5 years behind most of our counterparts around the world. If you're in this room and you are 10, 14, looking at me right now, good for you. I'll tell you what to do before we close. Now, if you are 40, 45 and you're still looking at me, whether I'm married or single, I'll tell you what you should do. All right, whether I finish this module or not, I'll tell you what you should do as we round up. Because I can tell you one thing for free. All right? The last time I checked now, Python no be name of snake again. Now language where they speak for the future where we don't enter. I will say that again. Python no be name of snake. They don't kill that snake, it don't go. Now the new Python is a language that every one of us must learn to speak. Because if you don't speak it, you'll be at some point, someone say, but I'm not a science student. Forget that. In fact, I don't know how to program. Forget that. Thank God for AI now. You don't even need to know it, but just know how to use it. You must know that it is part of solving problems today. Let me tell you what one very, very amazing multi-billionaire said. And my wife and I were just talking about it this morning before she went to church. You know what she said? He said, currently, she was the one who raised the matter. She said she found out that some entrepreneurs around the world are commanding their staff to use AI to generate and solve problems. 60, I said, no, it's worse than that. So I opened another presentation that we just had to see. One of the guys we follow, I don't want to call his names, I don't want to confuse anybody, but one of the guys we follow, he said currently 92% of the entire operations of the team is done by AI. 92%. 92%. Maybe you don't understand. So I said, some people will now say, when you use it, you are dull. We are already there. I better be dull and be using the thing than to tell me that if I use it, I'll be dull. Some people are looking at me now. It'd be like, say, I don't lose some people. Have I lost anybody, please? Thank you. Okay, so why entrepreneurship is urgent now, right? Of course, we see that scripture now. Do business till they'll come. Now we look at it. Jobs are evaporating. And why is it operating? The word there is what? Automation. Is happening easily. Let me give you one simple example of what that means. I'm dealing with a particular 1-year program, all right? It's one of the products of our company. And we've started deploying it for the past 2 years. This year, A certain manufacturing company that manufactures fish feeds, all right, it's called Giwa in Ijebu in Ogun State. All right? As at the time I was still in this building, I was still chatting with my clients in the lobby there before I came in here. Now, the old plants they have, there are 58 staff on that. Please listen to this. 58 people. All right? Of those 58 people, about 46 of those work in the plant. They run shifts, night and day. A massive plant to produce, let's just say, 5 tons of product. All right? A day. And then on the other side, so imagine this is the building where they are operating. On the other side of the fence, there's a massive structure that is growing up for the past. They've been building that place for about 2 years. But when they brought in the expatriates to finish the work there, it's a force. It's in is serious. So disruptions are permanent. They're happening. All right. This Uber one, this one, it don't off me tire. Every time I think about it, I remember. All right, that I was standing at 7-Up. My sister was dropping me off. She was getting to work at 7-Up. She was dropping me off at the taxi park. Anybody knows Lagos? There used to be a set of yellow taxis right by that old toll gate. She dropped me there. I wanted to go on Agofore many years ago. I wanted to come by Agofore back to Warri. So I got to the taxi and I said, okay, how much is it? They called one ridiculous amount. And I said, I'm just going to Agofore there, just at Tojota there. Anyway, while they were still arguing within themselves, I brought out my phone. And exactly Uber, we didn't have boats then or Taxify. It was Uber. I brought the app out and I called Uber. They looked at me using my phone. They didn't know what I was doing. Right in front of them, a nice looking Toyota Corolla, AC, everything. I entered with my bag, sat down at the back as if it was my car. And these guys looked at me like this. And guess what the app was telling me? It was 1/3 of the thing. So if I was supposed to pay like 2,000, I was paying probably maybe 600 or something. And it was ridiculous. If you go there now, you'll not see one single yellow taxi there. One. That's disruption. That's disruption. A few days ago, friends and I, we used an Airbnb apartment in Ibadan, somewhere, around Dugbe. And honestly speaking, I can tell you for free that hotels are suffering because of this app. This one app like this one app. Hotels are suffering all over the world. Why? Because my house in Warri here, I can simply just put it on the app and tell them whoever wants to live in Warri for 1 week that I have house there for free. It's on the app. The person pays for it, avoids all the big hotels, but has everything. That's what's happening now. Why am I sharing all of this? I'm sharing all of this just to let you know that we don't get time to think like before again. Things have changed. So if you're going to do business, you need to think in this line, all right? You need to think in this line. Anyway, I think this will appeal to 1 or 2 people here, and I don't know who this is for. In fact, I didn't plan to put this on my slide until this evening when I sat down in that place. So I was just thinking and praying. I didn't even know the audience I was coming to meet. This is the first time in Singles Forum I'm meeting a major shift in the audience structure. I'm telling you. And it's a beautiful thing. It tells us that really the next generation is here. So it means many of you must hear these things. All right? There are some ways, they call it thinking pattern. The way you think. The way you think. Don't get us wrong. We want you to go to school. But when you go to school, we want you not to just pass exam and be grateful. We want you to question everything you are learning and find a way to think about its relevance in the world. And that's some of the things some of us who went to school did not do. Because we live in a generation where sometimes when you even raise your hands, even your classmates will laugh at you. So your self-esteem drops just because you ask a question that looks like a foolish question. Meanwhile, that is an entrepreneur in the making already. Sometimes even your teacher will tell you because you asked a stupid question before that you shouldn't speak again. So if you are like that in this room, you sit in the class like an awkward person, always wanting to challenge everybody. Welcome to the club. You are an entrepreneur. You are the kind of person who will not take everything the way it is. You want to ask questions. Are we together? Please, are we together? So you need to ask questions. I want to also add by extension, right? We've talked mentoring over the years. This is a little bit of digression. I'm speaking about this because of the quality of questions. And I've taught over the years that Anybody who has ever benefited from mentoring, you know that mentor is not somebody you go and meet when you need money. Am I making sense? Yes. In case you have never practiced it before, your mentor is not your father. It's not your uncle. It's not your nanny. However, how do you get the most out of a mentor? What's that? Quality questions. Yes. Quality what? Questions. So if you are a person that knows how to ask questions, please continue. Do not stop. If you don't know how to ask questions, start now. Quality questions determine how you literally challenge the status quo and tradition. Because disruptors are who we are. God by himself is a disruptor. Who is a disruptor? Yeah, it's easy to say, but God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. All right? However, God is a game changer all by himself. He starts something, he disrupts it, he changes everything. He's new every morning. He's new every morning. Something is new about him every morning because he's a disruptor. He doesn't want us to stay in traditions. He wants us to think about things differently. And that's one of the characteristics of all of us entrepreneurs. So one of the foundational thinking patterns is the fact that some people say, I don't have a degree. That's why I can't make sense. The next one is what? There's no one to help me. Next one is what? If only I can jack. Abi? Come on, are we together? Come on, are we together? Some of us in this room are already thinking like that. This worry is safe. This worry is safe. In fact, some of us are already thinking, nothing they happen for worry again. Make I just go anywhere. And that's one of the things God needs you to deal with. If you don't start succeeding here, really, it doesn't change just when you go out there. So I have failed so many times, therefore I am a failure, right? There's nobody. Okay, what's this? It's not for people like me. That's another one. And this one is common, right? Government know they help us. What's this one? The environment is bad. What's this one again? Yes. I have a young friend in this city who changed. I was standing with him on Airport Road, and he told me, sir, there's nobody who has made it in this country who know they corrupt. I said, And once you think like that, every time you see someone driving in a big car, you say thief, 419, Yahoo, Yahoo. Everybody is Yahoo, Yahoo to you that is driving a big car. You know what? It's true that there are many people like that. But you don't need to keep thinking like that. Because if you think like that, you will not grow past that. Because you've already limited yourself. All right? And there's a last one there. I need cash to start a business. Now, there's a reason I put this one there. Because that's what the next set of minutes I'm going to talk about. I'm talking about how so we have 20 minutes. Let's wrap this up in 20 minutes. So entrepreneurship is good. But this is the myth. Serious might. So basically we're saying entrepreneurs don't give excuses. Are we together? Please, let's shout it together. Zero tolerance for excuses. I don't give excuse. All right. So with all of this, people are still succeeding. Many people are succeeding. And I can find myself in a lot of these things. A lot. I just don't have time right now. Can we read that together? Yeah. Does that sound like you? Aha. So many years ago, after I returned to this city from Lagos, I started running this kind of entrepreneurial trainings around the city. Different churches. I volunteered to train. Every time I finish the training, and it's time for questions, I already start expecting it. In fact, someone says, sir, all these things you have talked about is good. We should start business. But I get idea, money no day, nobody to help me. So I heard it in every church I went to. So I had to develop a model in there. How to start your business without cash. And wrote a book around that. In fact, it was... So by the time I went on radio in the city here on Crown FM, that was the first training I had for the first month. Doing business without cash. And some people were like, is it possible? Yes, it is. And let me say this. It is even now more possible now. You see, from the dispensation of the fourth industrial era, if it was possible before then, it is more possible now. And that's why I want to share this with us. All right? So we're... all right, so I wouldn't be explaining all of this. All right? No time. But one of the things that you need to know is that for you to start your own business, you need to also go and serve someone. Is it possible to do business that you have never done because somebody might have heard Madam Joma give her experience and said, In fact, you might forget, but around that same period when it was time to get there, I remember that there was a conversation we both had when we were trying to get to Amju, to Dr. Jonathan at that time. Yes. So I'm trying to drive at something. You can now say, but she has never run Pink Sky before. She's only a bank. How come she now started a business in it and she succeeded in what she has never started before? That's an error. A big time error. In fact, the thing for many of us who understand enterprise is that for someone like her, it would have been an error not to succeed. I don't know if you get that. Okay, I can't explain all of this, but let me say this. When you look at anybody that wants to succeed, what's the major ingredient that they need? Yeah, discipline, thank you. In fact, let's stay on that one. So let me ask you, when Pink Sky was starting, how many years of corporate experience do you think Madam Ifeoma already had put under? What do you think discipline she already had? So you see where I'm going to. So when I say for someone like her, if she had failed, it would be a surprise for all of us. Because all of us who are following already knew she was disciplined. And Pink Sky was not the first business she had done. She had been around in business for a long time, passionate about wealth creation. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you look at even number one here, this is a living example of someone who serves a system, served in a system for years, all right? And painfully, there are many of us who will see a successful person, Pink Sky, let me go and reproduce that model, but you don't have the roots, this foundation, the structure, the discipline, the character, the competence that is required. And it is in serving somewhere that we develop that. So guess what? It is only a mumu that will be calling somebody else who is working for another person a mumu. Na mumu. That guy must love spoken word. Are you a spoken word person? Why are you doing that? Because the last time I checked, I know what's happening, don't worry. But seriously, it is somebody who is ignorant that would think it is foolishness to go and work for another person. I want you to hear this now. Say job no day. Leave your house tomorrow. Go and work for someone next to your street, even if to go and teach in a school. All right? Go and teach for free. In fact, if you are looking for a job, let me tell you why you should go and work for free. It is easier to get a job while you are still working. Hello? Go and try it out. If you are done with NYC, you have been back home, you are looking for a job, you are sitting at home. I recently asked somebody who told me, sir, I submitted my CV to you. So I've been looking for a job. And I asked him, how many CVs have you submitted? He said 4. I said 4. And you are saying you are looking for a job. Are you a serious person? He said, what do you mean, sir? I said, don't worry. Take it the way I've seen it. If you need a job, you cannot submit for until you have submitted at least a minimum of 100 CVs. It won't be as much as that, but at least be serious now. When you're not the governor's son. All right, that's that. Start with what we have, all right? Start from where you are. Now, when you do these two, you realize you will need to start small. Because you cannot be starting with what you have from where you are and not start small. It's not possible. And of course, it's when you start small, you start growing. So this, for me, has been the model every time. Every time. Interestingly, this invitation to speak came at a time when I am actually just rebirthing a new company with my wife. Probably one of the biggest projects of our life. And I would love to talk in details about it. But I'm telling you that we're reproducing these same principles now. All right? A subsidiary of that company has real estate in it. I've never done real estate before. Never. But since last year, guess what? I was praying. I was inside my office in Lagos. And I was there. In fact, I locked myself inside our office for 8 days. People will go home. They'll come back. They'll think I got into the office early. It was only the security men in the premises that knew that I was the only one that would lock up, and they knew I would have. So when they come in, my office, nobody. I was there for 8 straight days. By the time I came out, the blueprint for what I'm telling you that we're doing now had already come. But to start one of the subsidiaries, God literally sent me. The day was ending that 8-day meeting. I left there and went to an event that he had instructed me to go somewhere in Akowonjo in Lagos. I'd never been to that place before. I sat there, looked for the man, connected with him, submit to his mentorship, and started understanding them. Since last year to today, I didn't sell one product. I didn't go and say I want to make money. I just said I want to understudy. Because real estate is one of the most saturated things in this country. And I just told myself, okay, this subsidiary, how do we even do it? And this is it. Are we together? Come on, please. Are we together, everybody? If you're learning anything, please say amen. Thank you. So, I think I will literally just leave this here. I know that some people can read. However, this is my focus here. Anybody heard of SaaS before? Yes. Software as a service. Please, let's say it together. Software as a service. Say it with me. Software as a service. See this word. I need it to mean something to you. If you are going to be an entrepreneur in this dispensation, whether you're a barber, you run food business, you run a gym, it doesn't matter. Whether you're a doctor, a teacher, you need to understand SaaS. You need to understand it. And guess what? You don't need to be a programmer seasoned at any level to actually engage in developing SaaS products. So there are a number of products like that, and I don't have time to explain them. You can go check out the history of Flutterwave, for instance, and Canva and Zoom and the likes. All right, including the popular WhatsApp on your phone. All right, the story about WhatsApp baffles me. That the same guys who rejected this guy's application letter came to buy his app later. So an app basically that you can download from any store, whether it's an Apple store or a Play Store, is what we call SaaS today. How did we use softwares those days? We go and buy a CD plate. All right, we bring it to our laptop. We open the put it, and then we install. True of us? Yes. Now, entrepreneurs all over the world are developing. I just told you about an app for cats, cat lovers. Abi? Yeah. Come on now. You're not talking back to me. Are we together? I know you're tired, but are we together? Good. So, that's the thing. You can develop an app. You can co-own an app. And you can be 14 and be doing it, by the way. You can be 16 and be doing it. Many of us are already thinking, we wish we started earlier. All right? One of the subsidiaries of the company that we just started is an IT company. I'm not a programmer, but I simply had to get on 3 different programmers to partner to do product for certain clients. So I have 3 different clients who want 3 different products. So I literally signed an MOU with 3 different programmers. 80% of the program is going to be done by AI, and they are just doing the finishing touches, including some of the companies I've mentioned earlier. One in India, one in the US, and one in this city. One in this city. Who many years ago was sitting in a meeting like this I was speaking in, and decided to go and learn how to do, to learn Python. As a matter of fact, he just finished an app that would have taken him 6 months with 3 other developers. 4 developers would have finished that project in 6 months. I've seen the product. It's for a big company in this city. One of the most daring products this young guy has ever did, and he's in his 20s. And guess what? He said 85% of all of the programming was done by AI. Are you seeing where I'm going to again now? So, please, we don't get time to waste. Time, no day to waste. No day at all. So, this is the one time in our world where if you think, say, you don't get money to start business, it is still in your mind. Is they where? Your mind. The free app on ChatGPT, that free one, the free service, will develop at least 60% to 67% of the coding that you need for many. Then if you know anybody in your church, bring the codes to them. Tell them this is the app I'm working on. And please be mindful. Even if they steal the app, don't worry. Don't worry yourself. See, app day. A day to design. Have you checked your Play Store? How many apps are there? How many games are coming out every day? Come on now, are we together? Yes. So thank God for school. Thank God for further maths. Do amo. I didn't say you should drop out, please. But I see they do study the one way school, no, they teach you. All right? That's all I'm saying. And there's so much more. I'll leave that there for now. Let me go past this one. There's no time to waste here. All right? I've talked about you getting a job. And 3 basic things you get from a job. You get your salary, you get experience, you get relationships. Are we together? You get what? Salary, experience. Of these 3 things, salary is the least important. I didn't say it's not important. I say it's the least important. Please take note of that. But the most important of these 3 is relationships. Are we together? Relationships. It is with relationships that I'm building the innovative arm. Now I'm an innovative hub. In fact, we started as an innovative hub. We're not even in a hurry. It's a research institute. And by virtue of Tinubu's tax policy, of the 3 companies, that's the only one that serves for tax exemption. I'm telling you, holes in the current tax policy and how you can benefit from it. That is the simple question I asked my AI. And I realized that tech. And don't start the tech as if you're a big boy. Let the government see that you are starting a research hub, an innovation hub. I said, boy. And somebody says AI is evil. I love you, my AI. I love you. We sat down overnight and developed a blueprint. And thank God let me not say that part. Anyway, so that is it. That is it. So don't use your AI only to write homework and do tests and no. There's so much. In fact, painfully, because of AI, I'm having less proteges these days because I'm telling my proteges, all of you that are always coming to disturb me, and you have a mentor in your hand. Yeah. Let me leave that alone. I don't want to say that too much, right? I have about 10 minutes more. So here's the thing. I have a feeling that at least one person here will fit into this category. Let me put it this way. I have young friends all over the country, from Abuja to Kaduna to Lagos, Ibadan. I came in from Ibadan yesterday, actually. And the 2 nights before, I was on food court in Ibadan, having a meeting with a few proteges till about 7:30 in the night at Bodija in Ibadan. And guess what? This thing I'm about to say, one of them still said it. He said, I have a very difficult boss. I'm tired of the company. I don't tire where. I go just they work, they stress us, they know they increase salary. I said, you are just talking like this because you are not paying salaries. If you are the one paying it, it's easy to increase the salary. I said, someone said no. Anyway, I've heard people say genuine things. And genuinely, there are some bosses that are not, caring. Genuinely true. But, please listen to this. Someone said, I have a wicked boss. I need to resign. In fact, I have boss that, and this one, I've even seen it. For some of those companies, I've been in companies where the CEO comes in like this. As soon as he comes in, it's like the lion of the tribe of oppression has come in. Everybody's shaking. Everybody. Because the man, you don't know which mood you will meet. Good morning. Shut up there. What morning? I'm telling you, I've seen it. So you'll be insulting your forefathers. Insulting you. And I'm like, this is bad. Really. This is bad for my emotion. I won't take it. Yet, when the guy comes to me and says, sir, I want to resign, I'm the same person who will say, thou shalt not resign. And for one reason, please hear me and hear me well. I tell them that when you came to this company, right, you didn't know that you had a boss at the top who might really be verbally abusive or in another way doing something you don't like. You didn't know. However, you're experiencing it. Now you want to resign for the weakness of your boss, right? And you're going to go out of here, losing the traction of the record, the capacity you need to build to go somewhere else. So if you meet another boss where you go that's also doing this, you do what again? Resign. I said, no, Joko Sibe, sit down there. So I'm going to give you 3 months. I'm going to give you 3 months to do one thing right. They say, what? I said, forget your boss and now go and grow capacity to work and to lead in an environment that you call a toxic one. I said, when you can build the capacity to run and be productive in a toxic place, come back and tell me. Now, your resignation will not be reactionary. It won't be because somebody spoke angrily to you. Your emotional intelligence has increased. You have the capacity to deal at a more mature level. I say I give you only 3 months. Don't resign now, because I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Please, because your job is not for salary alone. It's a training ground. It's a training ground. And see, doing business is not fair. A lot of people are raw. They are raw with their words. Even customers will walk into some of the place where you will do your business in future. And God is teaching you capacity to deal with toxicity. And you're angry. You want to run away because you get boss where they provoke. Run now. Run. Salary is the least. Experience is the next. That's capacity. And every capacity you need to grow your business is right in where you're working now. Are we together? Are we together? I know that I'm not prophesying. Some people are not saying amen yet. I'm telling you, if we had said, let's pray now, that there will be breakthrough, some people will be on their heels shouting. I'm asking, are we together now? Please don't get me wrong. I like prayer, and I'm grateful that Mama talked about it. But I am particularly pissed off at a generation that is spending hours bending their neck and they're not thinking. Their head is not correct. There's no results, no ideas. Someone says he prayed for 20 hours and he came out to blast. Pastor, I had a 20-hour. I said, when you came out, what happened? I said, what happened? I said, did you go with a biro and paper? They said, sorry, biro and what? How do you go to God to pray for 20 hours and you didn't go with biro and paper? Are you okay? That's what she was saying earlier. This is the generation that prides in. Don't get me started. I'm right now out for anybody now that his head is not correct. Some people need factory reset, spiritual, mental reset. They don't understand that. Mama, please don't be angry with me for saying that kind of thing. All right, so please let's read this together and we'll begin to shut down. Whatever you see and hear consistently over a period of time, and whatever enters your heart. Can we shout it out one more time? Everybody want to go? Over a period of time will enter your heart. And when it enters, it will control your life. All right? Now, that is why Romans 12 verse 1 and 2 is important. That is why it's important also to continue to upgrade. I don't care whether you graduate from school the first class or a third class. In the society, it is the person whose mind can produce results that will follow. Are we together? So this is it. So this is the law I want to close with today. Let's read it together. Go. You must first become who you have never been before. One more time, please, everybody. For you to achieve what you have never achieved before, you must first become who you have never been before. And this is why you must leave your friends alone. This is why you must use your phone rightly. This is why you must spend less time. Bill Gates postulated in his book, Business at the Speed of Thought. That was in the late 90s. He wrote there that a time will come when we can take a 4-year degree course on our phone and we'll do it in 3 months. He wrote it there. All right? So, please, if you have a smartphone and the phone is smarter than you, it's a problem. Because you use it to last thing. In fact, your eye will be closing like this. The phone is landing on your face. It's sleeping on you. All right? And then when you wake up in the morning, first thing, your phone. Bah! That's demonic. Freedom. I pray for freedom right now for anybody who is addicted. Now, you replace that addiction to movies and to fun and to music. I don't have a problem with it. But increase it, replace it with learning. Are we together? Come on, are we together? Replace it with what you see and what you hear. I'm going to stop here. But this is a good time to stop. I hope that by the time, next time we see, someone of us will Tell me that you are using YouTube right now to learn how to use Python. You are learning project management on it. You are learning all manner of things. Anything you want to learn. So God bless you. Thank you so much for your time.